All right, we are making hummus today. There's going to be lots of cuts and edits to this because I'm using a food processor. So to start off, this is homemade hummus, which is made with chickpeas, lemon, garlic, tahini, olive oil, cumin, salt, and a little bit of water and paprika. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a 1/4 cup of tahini. You can get the store-bought, you can also make it at home. And you're going to put it in the food processor. Quarter cup of the tahini, take 1 large lemon and juice it into there. Try to avoid letting the seeds fall in, but ideally you juice this over something else and then not juice it directly into the food processor, because then you need to pick out the lemon seeds like I'm gonna have to do here because I'm smart. So ideally juice it over something else, measuring cup, whatever. Or if you have a juicer, even better. You can also get just lemon juice, not fresh. It's up to you. But juice lemons, toss it waste over there. And if there's a seed or two still left in there, that's okay, because everything's going to get processed smooth. Alright, so first, we're going to process it for a minute, scrape down the sides, and then process it again for another 30 seconds.
Eat intact. Hi, Eden.
So as you can see, we're starting to whip up the tahini. And I'm just going to scrape down the sides. A silicone spatula like this is perfect for this use. You can really just scrape down the sides and let it keep working. Alright. Another 30 seconds. All right, next, pardon this. So next we're going to be adding olive oil, minced garlic, cumin, and a half teaspoon of salt to the whipped tahini and lemon juice. Cumin, really important. If you do lots of cooking, especially savory cooking, get the big thing of cumin. You're going to go through it. You're going to use it. All right. So it's a half teaspoon of ground cumin. Says 1 small clove of garlic. Right. So it says to mince it ahead of time, and if you have minced garlic, go right ahead and use that. I would but I didn't. So all I'm going to do, super quickly, super easily, cutting board, take 2 cloves of garlic. You want to crush them, and I'm just going to do a rough chop here because it's all getting processed a lot anyway. Yeah, it says 1 small clove of garlic, but I'm a quarter Italian and I like flavor. And unlike the British who conquered the world for spices and then decided they didn't want any of them. Yeah. So 1 small clove minced or roughly chopped as we've done. 2 tablespoons, 30 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil. So it's 1/8 of a cup, 30 milliliters. Extra virgin olive oil, because we're not cooking with it, you want to get as good of quality of olive oil as you can get because you're not hiding any of the flavors with cooking. So the better quality you have, the more it's going to shine through. Actually, really for anything that's not like all cooked together, the quality of the ingredients really does shine through. That was seasoned salt that made an attack on my life, but I'm okay. So olive oil, minced garlic, cumin, and a half teaspoon of salt. Process for 30 seconds, scrape the sides, process for another 30 seconds until all blended. You have an idea how this is going to work out. Alright, so the next step is going to be adding our chickpeas. Now we can either add 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas or 1.5 cups of cooked chickpeas. I like to have dried chickpeas at home, so dried chickpeas kind of look like that. And cooked chickpeas kind of look like that. They'll have a little hull or husk on them that you can take off, and in fact they kind of start to come off on their own as you're cooking. And if you take them off, it'll make a creamier, smoother hummus a little bit easier for you. So if you have dried chickpeas, you soak them in water overnight. Usually what I'll do is I'll soak them in water for about 8 to 12 hours. Then I'll replace the water with fresh water, soak them for another 8 to 12 hours. And you can really let them go for like 24 to 48 hours, especially if you keep them cold, keep them in water or in the fridge. But much beyond that, especially if you have really good quality chickpeas, they'll actually start to sprout, and then you can no longer use them. All right, so it says to open drain, rinse, add about half the chickpeas to the food processor and process for 1 minute. So as I'm just running my hand through it, if the holes come off, I'm removing it so I don't need to process any further. This can be a very tedious process, or you can just say F it and just start tossing it in. All right, probably a little bit more than half there, but that's all right. So I'm going to be processing it for 1 minute, scraping it down, add the remaining chickpeas, process for 1 or 2 minutes, scrape it down, and then start to look at the consistency. So I'm going to pause the video for right now and start processing. I'll come back in a couple minutes. All right, so I've processed it for a minute, added the rest of the chickpeas, processed it again for 2 minutes. I'm about to scrape it down, and I'm going to show you the almost done process. Already smells good. So that's the almost done. We can see it's still a little, almost dry, a little grainy in texture. So this is where it starts to get to be a little bit of art and personal preference. So this is where we're going to add just a little bit of water at a time to get the texture just right, and a little bit of salt for taste. Again, we want to scrape down the sides and get everything incorporated. And the recipe that I have says to add about a tablespoon of water at a time. So I'm not going to do horrible measuring. I'm just going to take tap water, toss it in there. I'm going to blend it for about 30 seconds at a time. Safety feature. If I pop the release button, it stops the blending process. I can see it's starting to get a little bit more incorporated. It's a little bit more creamier. Tossing in just another, about a half tablespoon there. Probably add just a touch more. You don't want to add too much too early because then it gets almost runny on you. Again, another 30 seconds or so. And now I'm going to call on the expert. Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah?
Would you like to taste the hummus and tell me what you think?
Sure. I'm definitely not an expert. Almost needs like one more roll in the food processor.
So a little bit more water. But the taste is good. Do you want any more salt?
Maybe a little bit more lemon, but not more than that.
I don't think I have much more lemon to give, but if there's any more lemon in here.
Not a huge deal.
Say hi to the camera, Boo Boo. Say hi. Can you say hi? This is the Boo Boo.
Let's be honest, Eden's really the star of this household. But she doesn't like cameras. Surprisingly. Ah, there's the salt. We're just gonna add a little bit more salt. Thirty more seconds.
She's the star of the household. She's also terrified of the food processor.
No, she just doesn't like it. All right, it's pretty well done. So at this point, we're going to take it out of here, put it into another container, and enjoy it. Finishing touches, you can sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on top and a little bit of paprika. But other than that, that's homemade hummus. Have a good one.